Back for day 2 of our MACD double act. And right now it looks like it could be a very early morning signal for us. Coming up to 25 past 10, and we have got the MACD on the hourly chart. That is below the zero level, sell trades only. By the way, very strange hour back there. And we can also see that we really did get out of the peak with our take profit on our trade last night. It was all downhill from there. Hasn't been to that price since. But yeah, MACD on the hourly chart giving the sell trades. And then if we look across at the 5-minute chart, price been pretty whipsawy up and down, especially the last few minutes. And now it does look as though we could get the MACD line crossing below zero, getting us into a sell trade. Let's take it to the economic calendar. Can just about fit all the events on here, quite a lot of them again. So let's hit the interesting ones only. 230 Australian dollar wage price index quarterly, 0.6% increase against forecast of 0.4. Good to see wages are at least going up somewhat with the prices. Inflation numbers from the Great British Pound. PPI and CPI. Let's have a look at the PPI first. Input month on month 1.4% against 0.0% forecast, and the output 1.1% actual against 0.4% forecast. Looking pretty high on the PPI. What about the CPI? Any better there? Certainly isn't. Month on month 1.1% against 0.0% forecast. If the forecasters really did think it was going to be flat, that's very optimistic. Even the core CPI at 0.7% against 0.2% forecast. Well, the Bank of England did recently have the option to increase interest rates, chose not to, so this can be one of the side effects of that. 10 o'clock, about half an hour ago though, we had South Africa. They managed to hold the line. CPI month on month and the core CPI month on month are both at 0.2%, pretty much as forecast. Not too bad there. And we've got more CPI numbers coming throughout the day. 12 o'clock on the Eurozone, we've got the month on month forecast at 0.8%, pretty high for half a continent. Nothing going on then in the early afternoon, but 3:30 our busy time. CPI and core CPI from Canada, as well as US dollar numbers, housing starts and building permits. We'll see how much construction is starting up or planning to start up. And then everything else for the rest of the day is speeches, as well as the Wednesday oil stocks change, of course. From these speeches, not expecting any major impact on the charts, even with a few from the ECB. And interestingly, 3:20 a.m. this morning, we had ECB President Christine Lagarde making a speech. And then again, 8:30 tonight. She does like a speech, but rarely do they impact our charts. But we will keep an eye on these numbers as they come in throughout the day anyway. Price hovering now the last couple periods. MACD line still facing down, less of a slope on it though now. Let's see if it makes the move. It is very close as to whether we get this signal or not. You can see the MACD currently minus 0.000002. It's gone positive again, so right now not getting that signal. If we do get it, we are going with 4 pips. So that's 12 pips to the stop loss. And it is so close. We are going to have to wait full on for the close to see whether we get the signal or not. About to roll over that second, and wow, we do get it very narrowly. So here we go. You can see our risk calculated on screen now. And let's get into 2 sell trades. Well, we had to wait about all day yesterday to get into a trade. And it was about this time in the morning that we would have got the trade, but we came on about 10 minutes later and missed it. So this time we have got that trade. Early bird gets the worm. Let's set our stop loss and take profit for those trades. 120 and 80 for sub trade 8. And we can see the morning volatility with the ATR getting up on the rise here, which reflects in our stop loss and take profit. Take profit level we can see down there. This is what we like though. You can barely see the stop loss. Look at how far away that is. We got a good room to move on this one, and we can set the stop loss and take profit on sub trade B. 120 points again to our trade and stop loss at 80 points. In fact, we can see our stop loss is right up towards where we got knocked out yesterday. Hopefully we get a wild candle like this one right here, that mad candle. And hopefully it sustains enough to be able to actually trigger the take profit. That'll be a good win for us. As price comes back up that period, look at how narrow that MACD line cross was. It was only that one period that it looks like it's going to be actually ever so slightly below the MACD line. And we'll see how that goes, whether if we'd taken it as an exit signal that it immediately reversed against us, whether it would have been better to close off the trade right away and take those small losses. We'll find that out as time goes by. 11 a.m. just a short ways into our trade, and we can see a few seconds ago the MACD on the hourly chart did cross over the zero line above it. Now that doesn't mean that we've lost our signal just yet, but it does mean that if this MACD closes like that at 12 o'clock and we haven't already knocked out our stop loss over here, then we will have to close the trade down and accept that it will just be buy trades for us. Not going so well at the moment, the trade, $21 down each sub trade, so about 2/3 of the way to the stop loss. Does look like it's going to break that way as well. Very close to the high of the day, which is over here. Hopefully it rejects that price and bounces back down. but it slows not, and there goes the stop loss. That didn't take long. 11:02 is the time. We got into that trade at 10:45, so compared to yesterday, we were in the trade. Full trade yesterday was over 4 hours. We really had to grind it out for the profit. But this morning, as soon as we get in, full-on reversal, pretty tame signal, and in this instance, it would have been better to immediately close out the trade there. That would have been about a third of a full stop loss. But the damage is done as we go down $56.68, only made $18.73 yesterday. So now we are going to need a winning trade to get us back into it. I'm just going to put the ask price line on. Yeah, you can see why we want to beat the spread by having that wider stop loss than take profit. Sometimes when the spreads are that egregious, you do need to have a bit of a close take profit to make sure you don't just get whacked out straight away. But irregardless, our trade is gone. So now we'll wait for another entry, and if price carries on this way, it could be a while again. And as the clock strikes 12, we do get the close on the hourly chart. That means it's now buy trades only for us. We've got to wait for the MACD line to cross below zero now and get back across there. Who knows when that'll be? Price currently still on the rise really. It has had a bit of a retracement. That could turn into a reversal, but we've seen retracements before that cracked on. In fact, we got in at the end of a retracement. At the same time, we also see the CPI month-on-month numbers come through for the Eurozone. 0.8% actual against 0.8% previous. Well done on getting the forecast, but not ideal numbers. 0.8. If you had 0.8 every month, 9.8 for the year. It's commonplace around the world right now. Some have it worse than others. Next numbers are those Canadian CPI numbers at 3:30. So until then, we'll see if we get a signal. Price does look a bit more convincing at coming down, so maybe it does happen sooner than we think. Actually, it hasn't taken too long now as we see the MACD line close beneath zero. We'll now wait for the reversal and happily get into a buy trade when we see this MACD line get above zero again. Okay, interestingly, we are getting the go ahead with a buy signal. It's been such a fierce reversal once again. No ranging going on here. Straight down, straight back up. So the MACD line is going to cross, and this MACD on the hourly, it hasn't closed beneath zero. Technically, it is closed above zero, so we are going to get into this trade. And you can see our risk calculated on screen now. 7.1 pips to the stop loss after 2.7 was the reading on the ATR, so it is a bit tighter. Let's add take profits and stop losses set. What it means is that we do want to see a rise in the MACD, flip it above zero on the hourly chart so we can make sure we stay in this trade. It's got 25 minutes to do that. Maybe it can even get to the take profit since then. Top of the hour on the MACD, it does close above zero. That's what we wanted. We get to stay in the trade. A little bit of profit going for it at the moment, just about $2.50 each. Call it a 3 now. Price has been coming down, and we see the MACD line cross over zero, stays there. Our major MACD on the hour chart though, that's still above zero. We know we're not going to close down our buy trade for this, so we just want it to turn around. The last 5 or 6 periods we were looking good up at that high there, only a couple pips off, but it has been on the drop since then, and we're about halfway to the stop loss. Price coming down quick. Does look like it wants to knock the stop loss. This has all come, all this red in the last minute or so. There, it does push far enough to take out the stop loss. Both our sub trades gone again. It's that second trade of the day, second loss. Even we're trying to keep it at 2 times ATR for the take profit, can't quite get there. We were looking good, got in the region, but then back down price came, and it's another losing trade on a pretty weak day today, and we can see how rangy it's been on the hourly chart. Hasn't really much move outside of a 0.1, 0.2% price range. You're going to get those days though. New York Forex session opens in just 1 minute's time, and we'll have those numbers in 31 minutes. Just something to note as well, right at the end of the last period at 3 o'clock, just after our trade closed, the MACD on the hourly chart did actually recross zero because of this plummeting price there. So now it's back beneath zero, and we're looking at sell trades. 25 to 4, price just been ranging, does look like it's ready for a drop now. We see it pressed down, the MACD line already below zero, so we can't get an entry off it. We've just got to watch what happens. But we did get those numbers in. CPI from Canada, 0.7% actual against 0.3% forecast, and core CPI 0.6 against 0.4. Not good, but obviously everyone's suffering from higher inflation at the moment. We also got the housing starts and building permits from the US. Slight misses for both of those. Housing starts was 1.52 million actual against 1.58 forecast, and building permits 1.65 million against 1.66 forecast. And it does put month-on-month housing starts down 2.3% actual, and building permits up 4%. Not too much outside of expectations that's going to damage the US dollar off the back of those numbers. Let's wait for our trade. 10 past 4, and we have just seen the histogram narrowly close above zero. 0.00030 is the figure. Came on a retracement candle. The MACD on the hourly chart is still below zero, which means sell trades are on the menu. If this finishes below zero, it will be an entry. And that signal is indeed going to come, so we're going to go with 2.9 pips for the ATR reading. That'll be 8.7 to the stop loss. You can see how our risk is calculated on the screen now. And so it's 2 sell trades at 0.30 standard loss. And now with our stop loss and take profit set, how do we feel? Yeah, it could be okay. It has been ranging for quite a while. Maybe now ready for a breakout to the south. Again though, good distance to the stop loss. That is right up at the resistance level. So we do give it some room to maneuver if it goes the wrong way. Volume should be in the market now for a potential move. We need a winning trade to get back in this. 2 losers today already. If we have a third, the strategy becomes very difficult to get back to profitability on. Starts running away from you at that point. Here comes our move. Price getting below the take profit. All we got to do is get the ask price line there. We've been in the trade just under an hour now. It's been mostly ranging, but has had the drops in there. And there we go. We take profit. Our trailing stop loss kicks into place, and we've got ourselves a winning trade. Let's hope this pattern can continue, because we really do need a good chunk out of the trading stop loss to get back into it. If it triggers where it is now, it's a bit of a weak trade, better than a loser obviously, but a lot of this strategy does hinge on being able to take profits from the trading stop loss. The last couple of periods, price has continued its drop, and we are getting more and more out of the trading stop loss. It is almost to the point where we are guaranteed more money from subtrade B than we got from subtrade A. Sometimes when price rushes down too fast though, you do end up with a retracement. But for now, let's hope we ride that wave longer. Just coming on to 6:30, and we are still able to get some new lows in price. The latest candle pushing down even more. It's been a nice trade. 2 hours and 15 minutes we've been in it so far. The pullback in price does get our stop loss in the end. How much did we get from it? 34.53, pretty good. Almost twice as much as our subtrade A, which was $19.03, and more than a single subtrade loss of $28.24. We still end the day $59.60 down, so it wasn't enough to get us back into profitability. But this final trade, it does give us hope. You can see on the 1 hour chart, it really was a day of two halves. When price ranges like this, we can't do anything about it. We are going to get into false moves. We had a short trade there that got knocked out, and then a long trade here, which went pretty badly for us. But when there is a trending move, we take advantage of it. We did with this one, and we did yesterday as well. That trend, it didn't continue, and we were lucky with it, as we've said. But we don't need too much of a move to be able to get profit. Just try and avoid these ranges. Maybe we'll get a really strong trending day tomorrow. That's what we're after, and so we will be back then. Before we leave though, how about a look at the journal? Updated journal then, 4 trades now, 3 of them today, although yesterday worked out a better day overall. And it was 2 crushing blows today, particularly that first one we felt hard done by, but our saving trade at the end, still down at $40.87. But all we need to do is catch a couple of these tomorrow, get a trending day, and I think that we can do well and get these figures back into the green. We saw the default MACD on the 1 hour chart, how rangy that was. Ideally there'll be a move overnight in price one way or the other. We don't mind which way. We'll trade either or. But a solid move that means we're only taking buy trades for the day or only taking sell trades for the day. That'll do us. We'll be back for the next session.